the Prime Minister?
Well, before I say, because the official statement comes from the IT cell and I'm a former co-convener. So former co-conveners don't speak officially on this kind of things.
No,
but when I was in IT cell, and but I'll tell you. See, this incident has happened. She is far matured and she is capable to handle it. And if it is appropriate, it will be reacted. Rather, I would say what Congress did was a childish act, rather than whatever.
What childish act did they do?
They didn't. They had no business to comment on what is going on there between her followers, her people who like her or who dislike her, and whatever is going on. Congress should have.
Is your concern really about what the Congress has done? And we'll debate that as well. What about people who are followed by the Prime Minister, by the Textiles Minister, by other ministers who have ranted and spewed hate on Twitter? Why don't you criticize those people?
No, I'll tell you.
You won't criticize.
No. How do you know? I'm going to answer that. Let me see. Somebody who likes or who has been followed by either Prime Minister or Minister does not mean that he has been endorsed or he has been promoted by Prime Minister or the Minister. You may follow somebody for some reasons.
But is it very healthy for us? Is it very healthy for the Prime Minister or other ministers to be following people who spread hate on their own ministers? Let alone anybody else.
I'll give you an example. Tomorrow, one of the employees here in your organization in NDTV does some activity. Will you own all his activities? Because it is his private thing and he has all the reason, because there is something called as freedom of expression.
If there is an NDTV employee who spreads hatred online, the company will disassociate with him or her in whichever format is required.
Because he's an employee. But when you work in a political system where people are not paid and they do voluntarily, but rather I would like to bring this to but I'll tell you.
Okay.
But that is their individual choice whom they are following and why they are not doing it. But rather I would like to point out what Congress.
So is it the individual choice of the Prime Minister to follow people who hate ministers in his own government?
That is your perception. That is your perception. If somebody writes his opinion, one side, I'll tell you.
Is somebody followed by the Prime Minister and the Textiles Minister Smriti Irani? Some of the things which have been written are appalling.
See, Vishnu, I see a contrast here. One way we talk about freedom of expression, speech, and another way you are trying to quote that because they have been followed, it means that they have been sponsored. Now, it can be his independent view of the person.
Freedom of speech
he may not like an act which was there.
The right to abuse or hate.
No, it is not abuse. See, so rather I would like to bring back this discussion to one point where what business Congress had to jump in. Let's put that to Sharmista Mukherjee, the Congress spokesperson. I would like to say Congress acted like a vulture in the social media to try to jump on this particular act.
Go to my other panelists, yes.
Sharmista ji, I hope Congress would have written 4 tweets which I'm going to read for you. And this is my request to you by folded hand. Something on the martyrdom of Aurangzeb, who lost his life fighting for our cause. 2, some views on Saifuddin So's anti-national ranting or Ghulam Nabi Azad's misleading people about army. Something about Indian ambassador in Pakistan not been allowed to enter Gurudwara. Had your handle spoken about 43rd Black Day of the emergency.
No, are you suggesting that the Congress doesn't support the bravery of
about
no, but what does that have to do with
evacuating standard citizens from war-torn areas, or about Sushma Swaraj getting a Muslim girl named Uzma from Pakistan, or about VK Singh ji going there? You never did that. You actually acted like a vulture going into the debate where you should have said.
Okay, 1 second, both of you wait.
Had I been your advisor, I would have asked you not to get into that. You never speak all that. Rather, I would also like to tell what the social media of Congress does. Appreciate and likes when Rahul Gandhi ji plays with Pindi.